Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Jennifer Marie, where I teach you different ways that you can make money online working from home. So I have many different videos about how to become a freelancer on Upwork.com. And one of the most common questions I get is, what do you do when a client will not pay you? So let's say a client has given you a job offer, maybe that's a fixed price job or an hourly job, and you have submitted your work and your client is refusing to pay you or they are not responding to you. What do you do in this situation? This has happened to me several times where clients have just not responded. So I'm going to teach you what you can do in this situation. So first of all, this is my Upwork profile. You can see I've earned over 90,000 US dollars since I started a few years ago. If you're interested in learning more about Upwork and getting jobs on Upwork, I've linked you to a few of my videos in the description below, and I also have a full playlist. But today we're just focusing on the topic of clients and getting paid. So on Upwork, there are two types of jobs. I have videos on each of these, but there are the hourly payment jobs and then the fixed price contracts. And the payment protection works differently for these. If you have done an hourly rate job, you're basically billing your client for hours that you work. And hourly rate jobs do qualify for payment protection. So with the hourly rate jobs, you basically have a time tracker, which is like an app that you click start. So at different intervals as you're working, it will take a screenshot of your computer. And that's sort of like proof that you're not on Facebook, you're actually doing your job. But sometimes there's the option to add time manually. So let's say you weren't using the app and you added an hour of work manually. This is when you do not qualify for payment protection. So I always recommend when you're starting off with different clients not to add work manually to make sure that it's tracked or to do a fixed price contract unless you've established a good relationship with this client and you trust them. So with fixed price protection, this is for the fixed rate jobs. So let's say a client sent you an offer for a $100 job. Basically that $100 they already pay into escrow. And that's an in-between between the client and yourself. And that way, the client can't take back that money unless you approve it, and you can't access that money unless the client approves it. So this is a way to protect both the client and the freelancer. So how it's supposed to work is that upon receiving and approving the work, your client releases the payment and you'll see the payment as pending in your report overview. But what happens sometimes is you finish the work, you send it to the client, and they don't respond. They don't pay you. They just ghost you. So what happens then? So I'm going to show you an example here. I'm going to blur out any of the client information. And basically, this was a while ago, but I recorded it so I could do this video. On Saturday, February 25th, I had done a series of recordings for this client, and she wanted me to make a couple edits. I made the edits, and I sent them to her on February 25th. Well, an entire week went by and I didn't hear from her. She never said anything. And before that, she was talking to me all the time, saying she was really happy with the voiceovers and just wanted a little edit. So I did not think that this client was going to ignore me. So a week later, I decided to submit the work officially with the Upwork platform so that I will get paid even if she continues to ignore me. So I wrote to her and said, this work was completed a week ago, so I'm going to go ahead and submit the work for payment. It was a pleasure to work with you. So what this means is once you click submit work for payment, the client then has 14 days to review it and click submit payment to you. And if they don't do anything, you automatically get that money. And if they decline it for whatever reason, that's when Upwork will step in and ask what the problem is and protect you basically so that you always get paid. I do have a video that goes into detail about how to submit work for payment, but what you would do is you go to My Jobs, then click on My Jobs again. Here you'll see a list of all your active contracts. Then click on Active Milestones, and then you'll see any buttons that say Submit Work for Payment. Then you will request the amount that you want to be paid. So in this case, it was $200. You'll write your message to the person, and here you have an option to attach the file if you haven't already. I recommend putting the file here, the file that you did for this job, and just give them a friendly reminder that they have to pay you and that you finished the work, and then click submit. So now it will say that the client has 14 days from the date you submit work to pay or request changes. And if they take no action by March 18th, the funds will be automatically released to you. So now if we go back to My Jobs, click My Jobs again, you can see there's a tab here that says Payment Requests. Click on that and you'll see that we are waiting for this to be approved. And you can see that exactly 14 days later, the payment of $200 for this milestone was released. And since then, I have not heard any more from the client, and I have received my money. So it's very important that you click submit work for payment so that you will get paid, because otherwise the client might just ignore you forever. So a tip I have for you is if you're taking an hourly rate job, make sure that you always track your hours. Don't do anything manually, just track all of your hours. And make sure to work with a client that is verified and ideally has had some Upwork experience. I have worked with brand new clients and had positive experiences, but that's just one thing you can do to ensure that this is a legitimate client. And a tip I have for fixed price contracts, let's say you're doing a really big job, it's a $1,000 job they want to pay you, rather than do the entire job and then get paid the $1,000, ask the client to break it into milestones. So maybe the first part of the project, they pay you $250, the second part, $250, and that way you know that they are releasing the money to you slowly but surely, so that way you're not worried, am I actually going to get paid $1,000 once I do all this work? Now, Upwork does protect you. I have had very positive experiences working with the Upwork support team, and they have always made sure I got money for jobs that I did if I had any difficult clients. And if you are having any issues whatsoever with getting paid or with a difficult client and you've done everything correctly, you can go to support.upwork.com. And at the bottom here, there's a Get Support button. So click that, and then you'll go through and you'll be able to submit a ticket asking them to get back to you if you have any issues. This goes for your account, with a client, with payment, with whatever you want, and they're very quick to respond. So I hope this video helped you a bit about how to deal with difficult clients. Also remember, never talk to your clients on Telegram or WhatsApp. They should not be asking you for that information. You should be communicating with the client on the Upwork messaging system. Sometimes people will take it to email once they've already set up the contract with the payment and everything on the Upwork platform, but don't start the initial conversation on Telegram or WhatsApp. That's against Upwork's policy, and it's also not safe for you. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section below this video, and make sure to check out my other videos on how to become a freelancer on Upwork. I'll see you in my next tutorial.